I was 15 years old and about to lead my first small group. It was a 2-week summer camp and we were about to read the Gospel of Mark and discuss it afterwards. I panicked. What was I supposed to contribute? What did I have to give? I had barely opened the Bible before. How was I going to teach anyone else anything? The camp came and went, and the result, it was a disaster and I felt useless. The fact that you are watching this video indicates that God has a sense of humor. Maybe you're standing in front of a decision to lead your first small group.
There is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Maybe you're on your 15th, or something similar. Either way, you're watching this and I'm guessing the intro hasn't exactly filled you with confidence. If you feel inadequate and doubting that God would want to use you, well, just let me quickly grab this. It's a spoiler. Yes, the answer is yes, He wants to use you. In this channel we focus on small groups, but no matter what you are facing, the answer is the same. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus speaks to those of us who battle with low self-esteem or doubt whether He wants to use us. And I would call this classic Christian imposter syndrome. If we open up our Bible and take a look at Matthew 5, we can read in verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. He doesn't say blessed are the prominent people with great self-confidence and those who have everything figured out. He says the poor in spirit, the meek, the ones who thirst. And if we continue to read, he says, you are the salt of the earth, to season this world, not to live off it, to be the light of this world. That is a calling for us right where we are. One could dive even deeper into this passage, but the point I'm trying to bring out is that we who are poor in spirit, meek but hungering for Jesus, go out and be the salt of the earth. Go out and be the light of the world. I did not think this through. It's not a question of if or whether He wants to use you. It's just a question of how. We could read another passage that shows us this. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. We are called to lead and to be a light to this world and to serve, which small group leadership is. It and all kind of leadership is serving. But even with that calling, I don't believe that we are called to say yes to every mission we are asked to take on. We should be good and faithful stewards of our time and talents. I think saying no is a good spiritual practice sometimes. Saying yes to everything might and often does lead to distraction and to not fulfilling the things we are actually called to do. So how do I know if God actually wants me to take on this assignment? If you think I can give you the exact answer, I'm going to disappoint you. I'll even gently warn you against it because it becomes kind of an idol. You want the answer from God, not from me. What I can do is what every small group leader, Bible study leader, and spiritual caregiver should do, and that is to ask questions. These questions have been helpful for me when I have been trying to figure out what to do. Have you prayed about it and actually sought God in stillness, not just in dutiful short-form TikTok prayer? Does this mission glorify God? Does it bring me or others to Jesus? Do I feel peace or unease at the thought of doing this? And here we need to discern whether it's a lack of peace or just nervousness or something about something that I have never done before. Do I sense God challenging me towards this? Does this line up with my gifts? Could this be a way of discovering gifts I didn't know I had? Am I doing this for my own validation, or is it about serving others? And it's not wrong to feel happy or feel you get validation from it, but be careful that it's not the driving force behind it. Has there been pride in me or any of my thoughts lately, so that this is a way to practice humble service? Is this a way of washing other people's feet? You can grab these questions to reflect on from my Small Group Corner website, link in the description. When we work through these questions, we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. It can also help to talk to a pastor or someone who's walked this road before you. Remember that when we see less flattering truths about ourselves, it's not if we see, but when we see them. It's not an accusation, but an invitation to grow. I mentioned this in my previous video, how to lead a Bible study group. You could dig deeper into that and watch that one after this one. If you're watching this, there's a good chance it's because you're thinking about leading a small group or a Bible study group. And that's an important calling. Are you ready for it? The thing is, we're not meant to wait until we're ready. I'm pretty sure that if you asked Peter, John, Paul, or any other disciples, they wouldn't have felt ready either, and maybe not ever. What we can do, if you sense that God is drawing you towards this, is to take a step in faith and trust that God carries you, and that He shapes you as long as you let Him. If you read Paul's writing, you see that the older he gets, the more humble he becomes. He says, I am the very least of all the saints. And that's part of the spiritual maturity. We can glance over at the Dunning-Kruger effect and translate it into a Christianese.
Yeah, quick aside. If you haven't heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect, it's basically this. People who know the least about something often feel the most confident. And the more you actually learn, the more you realize how little you know. It's why beginners are bold and experts are humble.
I understand nothing. I understand everything. There's more to this than I thought. I'll never understand this. Okay, this is starting to click. It's complicated. And the longer I walk and the longer you walk with Jesus, the more you will see just how much you need Him. The 15-year-old at camp who would never have anything to do with small groups or leadership. He had no idea what he was doing. And honestly, it still feels like that many times. But for some reason, I have been allowed to be one of the flawed people God uses. What a wonderful thing it is to get to be a part of it and see how God works in people's lives. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if this gave you something, please hit like and subscribe, but also share this with someone who you think needs to hear this. You could also reach out through the form in the article on the website. And as always, pray for the people around you.